Welcome to the Master Conspiracy Channel. I created this channel to help like-minded people research things that normal people seem to disregard. I will be giving out my interpretations on many different subjects that might turn out to be incorrect, or it might be deemed to have some weight to the matter. Regardless, please feel free to follow along. I would like to ask you to subscribe to this channel and also click the notification bell to be notified when I post a new video. With that being said, pull up a chair, grab a cup of coffee, and let's get to it. What would you say if I told you that there are a group of people in this world, behind the scenes, and you did not elect, that are behind almost everything that happens on this planet? What if I informed you that almost every war waged on this planet was due to a group wanting to exterminate people? What if I also told you that this group of people deems themselves above all laws and government entities and will act in their own interest? In my opinion, these things are exactly what is happening, and it's by the Bilderberg Group. They are part of what we call the deep state. Let's look at the definition of deep state as defined by the internet. A deep state, also known as a state within a state, is a form of clandestine government made up of hidden or covert networks of power operating independently of a state's political leadership in pursuit of their own agenda and goals. Examples include organs of state, such as the armed forces or public authorities, intelligence agencies, police, secret police, administrative agencies, and government bureaucracy. A deep state can also take the form of entrenched career civil servants acting in a non-conspiratorial manner to further their own interest. The intent of a deep state can include continuity of the state itself, job security for its members, enhanced power and authority, and the pursuit of ideological objectives. It can operate in opposition to the agenda of elected officials by obstructing, resisting, and subverting their policies, conditions, and directives. It can also take the form of government-owned corporations or private companies that act independently of regulatory or governmental control. Scary, I know. In my video titled The New World Order, I read the About page on bilderbergmeetings.org. I will read it again now. Since its inaugural meeting in 1954, the Bilderberg meeting has been an annual forum for informal discussions designed to foster dialogue between Europe and North America. Every year, approximately 130 political leaders and experts from industry, finance, labor, academia, and the media are invited to take part in the meeting. About 2/3 of the participants come from Europe and the rest from North America. 1/3 from politics and government, and the rest from other fields. The meeting is a forum for informal discussions about major issues. The meetings are held under the Chatham House Rule, which states that participants are free to use the information received, but neither the identity nor the affiliation of the speaker or speakers, nor of any other participant, may be revealed. Thanks to the private nature of the meeting, the participants take part as individuals rather than in any official capacity, and hence are not bound by the conventions of their office or pre-agreed positions. As such, they can take time to listen, reflect, and gather insights. There is no detailed agenda, no resolutions are promised, no votes are taken, and no policy statements are issued. Very interesting. And I suggest that you go to the page and check them out for yourself. The information is posted there, and I have saved it to my favorites, and I check it from time to time. It is said that this group was founded to avert the next World War. But if this were true, then wouldn't there be attempts to stop the next World War? I mean, technically, there hasn't been a world war since then, but there have definitely been very large wars since the group's inception. There are some theories out there that I have heard about the Bilderberg Group, such as the Bilderberg Group is run by a cabal of lizard men. I think this is false. The Bilderberg Group is ran by the Republican Party and the European Union, and they are attempting to establish a Fourth Reich. I believe this one is false as well. The Bilderberg Group is attempting to take over the world. Wait a second. This one might be true. Let's research that for a second. Here are some of the proposed goals of the Bilderberg Group, as well as the results that will occur if each of these things were to happen. Number 1, abolish nations and democracy. This is the definition of the one world government that everyone is concerned about. You take away the pride of a nation and its ability to decide on its own if it wants to do something or not, and that nation will become as clay to be molded into whatever you want it to be. Number 2, complete globalization. One side is promoting immigration and defending minority needs before the native people in a country. This aim is to crush any national identity which is a threat against globalization. Therefore, immigration from different cultures is promoted and initiated, rotting away the identity of a state from the inside. Immigration is not bad, but everyone should be able to conform to the identity of a state when they live in that country. Number 3, setting up and using the UN as a military force by merging NATO and the UN. Bringing a military force to bear in a country that the same country has no control over is really bad news. This is like giving your lunch money to the school bully every day. Sure, you give him your lunch money and he won't beat you up. But you start resisting giving him your lunch money and he will start throwing haymakers at your face. Fortunately, the United States has been working out in the basement and taking Krav Maga since it was born. So, good luck with that, NWO. Number 4, manipulate and force world leaders to follow the previous agenda. You don't have to convince everyone to fall in line with your agenda. You simply have to convince each country's leader to accept your agenda. After that, the people, for the most part, will fall into line. This is why I weep for the Democratic Party here in the United States. I don't know if they are just ignorant to facts of globalization, or they completely understand it and are following it wholeheartedly. Number 5, using climate change as one of the many tools to create a world government. You want an easy way to convince people, to trick them into believing that there's a threat out there that you can't see that will kill us all in X amount of time? When that time has elapsed, you can simply move the goalpost to conform to your agenda. Back in 2006, while promoting his movie An Inconvenient Truth, Al Gore stated that the world has 10 years before it reaches a point of no return. In 2018 and 2019, several senators here in the United States have stated that the world will end in 12 years. Do you see how this works? In 2030, I am sure that yet another important person will state that we only have 15 years left before the end of the world. That is not to say that we should not take care of our planet, but all of these people, also known as alarmists, are telling you this to get you to bend to their will. Number 6, cut down electricity and cheap energy to use remaining energy as power management instruments by abolishing fossil fuel, nuclear energy, and hydroelectric power. Are you aware what could happen if you got your power from the sun? Nothing. Nothing would happen. You would be independent from the power grid. The people in charge would not be able to decide when your lights are able to be turned on, or if your house is heated or cooled. You want to know who is prepared? Wait until the lights go out and take a look outside. Number 7, exterminate any opposition, whether it is individuals or nations. Any politician opposing globalization are either set aside or eliminated. Nations opposing globalization are put under sanctions and all sorts of pressures. One of the tactics used by enemies is to starve their captors. After a little while, you offer them a piece of bread for a little information. At first, they will resist. But the hungrier they get, the harder it will be for them to resist the rumble in their stomachs. You then reward them with a small piece of bread for just a little information. After that, you can offer more delicious food for more important information. Then eventually, you will have the same prisoner acting in a manner that is congruent with what you need them to do. In addition, elimination of key persons will surely force the people to act in a manner that is acceptable to your views. Here are some other things that this group wants to do. Centralized control of world populations by mind control. Controlling world public opinion. This does not mean that they want the ability to mentally control people like you see in the movies, but rather bend the will of the people to see the New World Order in a positive light. They want the New World Order with no middle class, only rulers and servants, and of course, no democracy. A zero-growth society, without prosperity or progress, only greater wealth and power for the rulers. This is also known as a one birth, one death policy. Something else that is currently in progress, but a major want for them, is manufactured crises and perpetual wars. This does two things. Number one, it keeps the population distracted, and number two, it reduces the overall population of the world. Absolute control of education to program the public mind and train those chosen for various roles. Just look at the education system in the United States today. Centralized control of all foreign and domestic policies. One size fits all globally. Expanding NAFTA, the North American Free Trade Agreement, and the WTO, the World Trade Organization, globally. Making NATO a world military, thereby reducing the ability for nation-states to defend themselves. Imposing a universal legal system. Rest assured that this legal system will be anything but legal. It will likely consist of kangaroo courts that will either sentence nonconformists to death or a lifetime of incarceration. A global welfare state where obedient slaves will be rewarded and nonconformists targeted for extermination. You want to know what their agendas are? Take a look at some of the attendees. From England, Tony Blair attended in 1993. He was the Prime Minister from 1997 to 2007. David Cameron attended the Bilderberg Group in 2013 and was Prime Minister from 2010 to 2016. In the United States, Bill Clinton was the governor of Arkansas when he attended in 1991. He later became President of the United States and served from 1993 to 2001. Hillary Clinton attended in 1997 when she was First Lady of the United States. Later, she became the 67th United States Secretary of State. In Canada, Paul Martin attended in 1996 and became the Prime Minister of Canada in 2003 to 2006. Stephen Harper attended the Bilderberg Group in 2003 and became the Prime Minister of Canada from 2006 to 2015. And in France, Emmanuel Macron attended in 2014. He became the President of the French Republic in 2017 and is currently still serving today. Notice that these people attended before they were in power. There are a ton more invitees that I will not mention here. You can get the full list of attendees on Wikipedia. Here in the United States, whenever a meeting is to take place between two members of opposing governments, the people know that it is taking place. We might not know what is said exactly in those meetings, as I am sure that there are points of the conversation that must be kept secret due to the subject matter, but we know the gist of what is being discussed and why. Not so with the Bilderberg Group. The attendees show up in blacked out limousines and no announcement is ever given. If the media is allowed inside the event, then they are not allowed to publish what happens inside. No notes are ever taken, no minutes are recorded, and no agreements are ever published. It comes down to this. There are a group of people out there who are working in the shadows and molding this world to their will. You do not have a say-so in what they believe. You are not in their plans for a new global governance, and you certainly do not have a voice to be heard. Sunlight is the best disinfectant. Thank you for tuning in to The Master Conspiracy. I feel honored that you have taken a little time out of your day to visit my channel. If you like the information presented here today, then please click the subscribe button at the bottom of this video and the notification bell to be alerted when I post a new video. I will be posting new content here every Saturday. Until then, know that the truth is out there.